Is there sometimes a trap that you overdo? Maybe you do put too much on it. Is it like
yeah, I think so. I think this is all part of the process. I think especially when we were recording the first album, we learnt a lot about how you don't always want to put everything but the kitchen sink in. I mean, we were putting the kitchen sink in as well.
Well, because we have an 8-piece band, and you know we're all such good friends as well. It would. At the time of making the album, it was like, let's all play the songs, let's all, you know. And so I think, you know, what we've learned from that and everything is to maybe strip some back and have a variation,
Are there does this result in disappointed band members sometimes? Or is
sometimes.
Yeah, you've always got to tread that fine line with egos, haven't you? But I think
aren't egos
they're all a really good bunch of musicians. They're all, I think they would be the first ones to say we shouldn't be playing on this band. So.
Yeah, we're really lucky to actually have a band that seems to be lacking egos, which is amazing.
But for you, Gabby, you wrote your songs until a certain point on your own. Is that something that you try to protect for a while also? Maybe because all these people around you that maybe want to put their part also into it? But
absolutely. Well, I mean, right from the start when I first started writing a song, I was also a kind of a young, stubborn woman who thought I could do everything by myself. So, you know, the thought of writing with other people, I was like, no, this is mine and I'm going to do it all by myself, you know. So that was something that I had to mature and grow out of, because the moment I started letting other people in, especially writing with Stephen, I started to realise how good it could be, you know. So, and now I'm all about collaboration in everything I do, to what I wear, to who I work with, to artwork, you know, everything. Because the moment you start letting people in, and people that do other things better than, you know, than you do, and so you can just concentrate on singing or whichever, then it becomes a stronger, more rounded project, and so it's been good for me to do that.
Can you pinpoint some moments where you had to, where you discovered maybe that people were better than you at some point?
Well, I mean, for me, the brass players. It's one thing hearing a trumpet line, but the instrument, the mechanisms of the instrument mean that sometimes what we can hear is not necessarily what they can play, but then they can say, but we could do this instead, and they know much more about their instrument than we do. So we can just keep singing lines at them, and then they'll tell us what works and what doesn't work.
Absolutely. I also had, I did a trip in America for 3 months when I was 19, and it kind of didn't, it was great, the shows, but the person I was with didn't work out so well, and that was when I realised that actually I would love to have a band with me, because the kind of protection of having like a family unit on the road with you if you're playing so much is quite amazing, and also I suddenly felt like I really wanted to share the stage with people, to vibe off them, to have, you know, the energy going, to keep it more theatrical and more of a show. So so that was a really big turning point for me, where I suddenly went, okay, I'm not going to be a solo singer-songwriter, I really want a band.
Can you recall that moment when you felt uncomfortable at some points?
I was in LA actually, I remember it really well. I was in California, and the backstory is that I went out to tour America with an American who was also a singer-songwriter.
A friend of yours? Or?
Well, I was going out with him at the time, but it turned really bad and also produced all my bitter songs. But the good thing about that, and the blessing on that, is that I suddenly became, you know, I had to go back to the beginning and rethink everything, and I had like one of those moments where I said, I don't want to do this by myself, I want to have people with me. And you know, there were things like I was always booking my own shows and doing all my own artwork and everything, and I started to see other people doing a similar thing to me, but with other people helping them, and thinking, why am I, you know, putting so much pressure on myself, because I'm not allowing myself all the time to be, you know, the musician that I should be. So yeah.
Was there for you, Stephen, did you sometimes advise her to let things go a little bit?
Yeah, you always are.
Yeah, I guess so. What, do you mean musically? Or?
No, maybe, yes, things she tells she wants to do everything. I mean, at some point it maybe gets too much.
I think we both have to keep telling each other to.
Yeah.
I think we're both a little bit control freakish about what we do. We both like to hold on to all the creative sides, whatever they are. But then what we've discovered is collaboration is actually a way of really producing something much bigger than the people who produce it. So, for example, Gabby with the artwork, she did a tour recently in the UK where she threw it open and said, anyone who wants to design a poster, design one, send it to me, and we'll pick the best ones and
put them in the booklet.
They're amazing.
Yeah, they'll be the tour posters. So, and we took actual physical posters and sold them at each gig, and
we've got them here
beautiful.
at the moment.
I mean, it's just wonderful being able to receive this stuff and look at it. And
it really was.
In some way, this is from what we're doing, but this is not. This is also other people, and they're responding to what we're doing, and it's
and
producing
also
something amazing.
Being able to promote other people's work is really special because we always seem to source out people that are also doing this very kind of DIY and just from scratch. They don't have big corporations behind them or whatever, and so to be able to kind of push their artwork as part of the whole thing is amazing for us, because then other people get involved and other people get inspired by it, and it all just starts to kind of spiral into something beautiful.